Hello YouTube, we're on for account reviews today and it's the first Tuesday of the month. This happens every single month, so if you want to take part in this and you don't have the normal things that you need, such as Patreon or a subscription or a ton of channel points to get yourself involved in account reviews, the first Tuesday of the month is your opportunity to sign up and get your account looked at by me. First up, we have a person called Transcendence who is level 198 VIP 3, so they're pretty much free to play at this point. They've been playing for so long that VIP 3 over the course of the entire age of the account is pretty negligible. And I find it fascinating that the one thing Transcendence has said to me that he wants to change about his account is they feel like they can't keep up with their guildmates. And that is a big issue. I get it all the time, right? People just cannot keep up with their guildmates. Because at the end of the day, if you're VIP 3, you're just not spending as much as some of them could be, and it gets hard to keep that kind of progress moving forwards. But then again, if you've been playing for as long as this person has, then you should have a pretty solid established account. So let's see what a VIP 3 account can actually look like. And it's not bad. We've got 3 Transcendence heroes, 2 of them are Void 4. We've got Halora Void 3. But then what I'm seeing here, and this is my biggest fear, is I'm seeing 3 Transcendence heroes and not a lot of Stellar Shards. And I think I know exactly why you can't keep up with your guildmates, buddy. Because in the time it takes you to pick up this many Transcendence heroes, you should be able to get minimum 3 Void 4s. Now you could argue, given the fact that we have 2 Void 3s, that's still technically possible on this account. But I'm concerned, because in the time that you are with the Void, as a level 198 VIP 3 player, I imagine that you've got yourself a few spheres in your days. Did you ever open spheres for Crystals of Transcendence? These fellas right here. Because opening for Crystals of Transcendence is a pretty rough thing to do. Only twice? Twice is still... yeah, that's twice is forgivable. Okay. So what we've got here then, instead, is an account that you're probably not getting yourself a lot of cores. Let's go to your achievements and see how many cores you've ever achieved. 346. Okay, that's actually quite a lot. 346 cores. But then again, you do get crystals for doing that, and then you counterbalance the crystal income with Stellar Shards by pulling for Stellar Shards. No, that kind of makes sense then. So it's not like you just don't have a lot of Stellar Shards. Okay, that's fair enough. But 3 Transcendence heroes, right? And they are good. Let's not get it wrong. We've got Sword Flash, we've got Halora, we've got Fessa. So what would you want from this kind of account? Well, for it to perform well, I'm hoping that we've got ourselves a good team that's feeding into the Sword Flash. So before I look at artifacts or anything like that, I want to look at the Celestial Island and go to the Cloud Island to see what we're doing with tenants, because I want to take a different approach with this kind of account. I've got to think about it the same way you guys should be thinking if you're trying to optimize a mid or late game account. And with the Sword Flash, the big thing we want to be pushing is tenants and our tenant buildings. And I'm seeing it. We've got Fiona, we've got Halora, we've got Anosuke, we've got Gloria. That's good. Okay, straight up, we have good tenants. Now your upgraded houses are at 33, 38, 31, and 30, so that's fine. And you've upgraded the HP aura and the attack aura, but I imagine it's because you've got a lot of those just Master's Toolboxes just floating. Hell no, the normal toolboxes. You don't have any Master's Toolboxes, oh dear. But you know what I mean, normal toolboxes, and you've actually hit the cap. Okay. Wait, is this consuming Master's Toolboxes to upgrade? Oh no. Bro. So the thing you're struggling with is getting Master's Toolboxes to actually advance these things, but you've gone and upgraded the aura things which have consumed Master's Toolboxes? Okay, straight up easy fix right there for a little bit more power. Undo the HP aura and the attack aura, because these are rubbish. They don't actually give you good bonuses, and they've used up your Master's Toolboxes. So get them out of here. You do not want these things upgraded if they're using Master's Toolboxes. Because there's a difference. Normal toolboxes, go ahead, go nuts. You're going to have a ton of them as a low and budget player. But master toolboxes, different story. They are super rare, really hard to get. And I'm looking at this, and you haven't been able to upgrade. And I know, yeah, it's only for houses that are 30 plus. You've done 3 on the musical fountain, dude. That's 6 master's toolboxes you've used, I think. That could have gone somewhere else. Every little helps, man. So yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking we can get some Master's Toolboxes back there. It's not an amazing fix, right? It's only going to get us a few, but it's still a little bit of a help. So that's one thing we can consider. A little bit of power will come back through there. Now, I want to see if you've multi-tenanted onto Vesa. You kind of have got a rogue in here. Okay. And wait, why is this level 14 with no one in it? Is that for when you just want to throw a sword flash in there and just make her a little bit stronger? I don't quite see why you've upgraded these buildings. Like level 7, level 8. Don't do this. People do this all the time. I see it where people upgrade buildings for no reason. It baffles me. Like there is no reason these should be upgraded. But that little thing, I don't know why people do it. They just do. But hey, there we go. We got a Rogan that's giving us some stats on the vest. That's fair enough. But what I want to see from this kind of account is good performance from the sword flash. For that, we've got our Rogans, which is good. We've got our Drakes. So this guy obviously is paying attention to the different things we say about heroes that you need. We've got our tenants. We've got a Waldeck in here for support. We've got carry. Everything seems to make sense. Russell doesn't make much sense. He's not a very good hero. I don't imagine you're using him for anything either. I assume Sealand Light is at 20. Yes, it is. So actually, if you were looking for food, you could easily regress the Russell. And you get your light food back now, thanks to the regression update. So actually, regressing light and dark heroes is totally okay now. So yeah, Sealand 20 is done. You can get rid of Russell. You don't need him anymore. And I'm looking at this strange double Ignis concoction going on here. We've got a 10-star and we've got an E1. I imagine why you've done that is because you were trying to build, I suppose, the right things for Sealand. Realistically, you only need an E5 and 2 9-stars, so you've wasted 2 Ignis copies by building this one up to 10 stars. So you don't actually need a 10-star, you need 9 stars because the final passive is unlocked at 9-star. So these 2 copies of Ignis that are trapped inside here, which you needed to go from 9-star to 10-star, you could have actually used to advance this one all the way up to E4, because you could have used it for E2 at E4. So yeah, that's a little thought. If you wanted to go and get some progress back, you could regress the 10-star Ignis, and that would actually put you in a decent position. How many Ignis copies do we have? I think we're strapped for Ignises. So if Sealand was something you wanted to push in the Abyss faction with your Halora, you are going to have to go ahead and do that. And Pow saying Ignis is super easy to get copies of. Look, Pow, that's totally subjective. For you, you could say, oh, Ignis is super easy to get copies of. But, like, is she, though, right? Any hero is difficult if they're elite, unless you're pulling them from chests. And some accounts just don't have a lot of chests. Ta-da! Like this one. So, you know, get your own personal perspective out of here. For this person, it's not so easy. He's VIP 3. He's a budget player. And she's always on shelter? Well, clearly, but look, that's once a month, Pow, and she's not always on shelter. Sometimes it's Waldeck, like it was last week, right? Pow, bad take, dude. So if we wanted to go ahead and push Sealand with the Halora, obviously you're going to need some Ignis copies. You need 2 9-stars, you need an E5, and you need good artifacts. So let's go take a look at our artifacts and actually see if we've got the stuff we need. So we're going to need AMB and a crown, maybe an Atlas Cane as well for damage, or even you could minimalize it and just do it with like a melodic strings. That's what I did. Or you can do it with, I think some people have done it with Punisher and things like Glittery Kiss of Ghost. There's lots of ways to do it with Halora. Let's see what we're rocking. So on this Vesa, we've gone and got ourselves a Splendid Augustus Magic Ball. Okay, that's good. Really fantastic artifact. Very versatile. Excellent artifact to have, so I'm happy you've got that. We've got a Radiant Crown. Interesting. So it seems you've been probably pushing crowns. I highly doubt you got 3 of them for free. I imagine you picked up 1 for free and then probably got the other 2 from chests or from relics. That's an interesting decision. We've got ourselves... okay. A Splendid Punisher of Immortal. Really good damage dealing artifact. Not a big fan of it at the moment myself, but obviously with an account this old, it's no surprise that you've ended up getting it because for a very long time it was the go-to. Excellent artifact for Sword Flash, big damage, but unfortunately it's not the best artifact for her. It's good for her if you're using it in Void Vortex and your energy feeding into her, so what I'm hoping for next is actually some Demon Bells. So, do we have any? We have a Magic Source. We have a Play Courageous. We have Magic Source. We have, oh, Glittery Atlas Cane. Okay, that's good. That will give you the additional damage dealt, which potentially could make the difference in Sealand if you're struggling to deal enough damage. Another Magic Source. I'm not seeing Demon Bells here. I'm worried. And we have 1 Demon Bell on a Rogan. And please tell me there's more. There was a Kiss of Ghost there, but that's it. 1 Demon Bell. Okay, we have no energy feed. Now, that's interesting. With Sword Flash as a main hero, I really strongly encourage people to use some kind of energy feed strategy. Whether it's melodic strings and then Ignis feeding in, or it's obviously using multiple demon bells with something like a Punisher or an Antler's Cane, or even a melodic strings as well. There are strategies in place. Sadly, we have neither of those things on this account, and it results in a Sword Flash probably not getting her full potential. So if you find that you're not being able to keep up with your guildmates, I see two possible reasons for that. First of all, obviously you're struggling with Master's Toolboxes, so you can't upgrade your tenants, and we're also in a position where, sadly, you don't have energy feed going into a Sword Flash. Now, my immediate response to that would be, if you find that you're like capped on some game modes, let's see how you're smashing in the Realms Gate. I don't actually know what level you're doing because you are literally smashing. If you could let me know, Silence, what Void Corruption are we doing? Because you could do high-end Void Corruption, like 100 plus, with an Eloise if built properly with a good team. You have Vesa, you have Halora, you have Sword Flash, you have components here. You're doing 95? Ooh, bro, you could be higher than that if Eloise was your main hero. A lot of people make this mistake, that they go and think, oh, I've got to go with my Transcendence heroes, we've got to make them our strongest. And in all fairness, that's kind of my fault for the VIP series and accounts like that were pushing heroes like Sword Flash, because that's the narrative. Obviously, Sword Flash is amazing, but these accounts have demon bells, they have ways of energy feeding, they have ways of making the strategy work. And if you actually go back to the VIP series and look at when I didn't have energy feed, even my Sword Flash was struggling to perform well. Let's go see where you're at in the Void Vortex, because this could also be quite informative. Defier? Okay, we've made it to Defier, but we're not completed on Defier. Now that's a shame, because you can get to Defier no problem just with an Eloise and no Transcendence heroes. So that's a bit of an awkward one. But to get to further than that, obviously we want to be at the bottom of Vanquisher 6. You probably need a much more powerful Sword Flash, or you're going to need some kind of energy feed, and that's tough. And he's got a Radiant Crown. Yeah, he does. That Radiant Crown would be fantastic on Eloise. That would make her really chunky. And I think you said earlier in chat that some people said you didn't need a Splendid Crown. It's not that you don't need Splendid Crown. It's that it offers a limited bonus compared to where it's at, compared to Radiant. Now, when we talk about artifacts like Splendid Crown things and just a normal crown even, what you're getting from a base crown is 25% all damage reduction. And then you do get further damage reduction on top of that if it's a higher level. Now, that's nice, but it's not necessary. With a hero like Eloise, who's going to live for ages, you wear off that damage reduction and you're left with just 7, right? So often people just go ahead and just go with a normal golden crown, because as a bare minimum, it's fine. And then that means you can save your time picking up other artifacts, because they're going to benefit you in the long run by focusing on other things like demon bells or damage dealing artifacts, and not going heavy in on things like crown. And exactly, Dank has just said, and I massively agree, only go and upgrade your crown all the way up to Splendid after you've got your demon bells. So sadly, by bumping into crown, that's one less demon bell you could have had. And this is something I strongly encourage all the time, is to try and pick up 8 demon bells so that you have energy feed. Now, I'm fully aware that that's a difficult thing to do as a VIP 3 person who doesn't spend a lot of money on the game, but that means even more so when you're given an opportunity for an artifact. Don't use it for things that aren't going to give you eventually long-term progress. And a lot of people are really scared about demon bells. They think, oh, I'm never going to get 8. That's so many to have. But if you think about it, let's just look at your artifacts. You've got a Splendid Augustus Magic Ball, which means you've picked up 4 of these. We've got Radiant Crown, which means you've picked up 3 of them. You've got a Splendid Punisher of Immortal. Like, we've got a lot of artifacts sitting around. And now, fair enough, you've been playing for a while, and a lot of these were given out as forced and fixed artifacts. I can think of many, many times it's been Punisher or Augustus Magic Ball, or even Antler's Cane for that matter. So obviously not all of them would have been from mysterious chests. But in the circumstances when you do get mysterious chests, you probably really do want to be going for Demon Bells, because Demon Bell is such a fundamental artifact. And it doesn't even matter what strategy you're playing into, whether you're going for Sword Flash, Freya, any hero, active skills are just better than normal attacks. So I think one thing we can learn from this account is just the importance of going for Demon Bells. And you may find that your account, because of that, will function better if you make Eloise your main hero. And for that, you're going to need Carry, Tix, Ithaca. You will actually have to redesign the account fully to actually lean into an Eloise. So it might not even be optimal, especially considering we have 3 Transcendence heroes and we're already heavy in on the Sword Flash. So maybe you don't do that at all. I think we're just in a position. And you can never have too many demon bells, says Cosmin. I agree. You can never have too many demon bells. It's a fantastic artifact. So let's go take a look at... I want to see your bag, right? We have 35 soul symbols. So actually, there is room here to mix things up, change things around. I feel like we could get rid of the Russell. I feel like that would help. And also, when it comes to like immediate progress, I do think the question you asked about whether you should go and try and push Abyss Seal Land, I think that's a very good thing to do. Pushing Seal Land is fantastic. The higher the level you get this, you get way more rewards, and that means every single day you're getting more stuff, so that's very, very good. So I think, yeah, Seal Land 25 with Halora is definitely achievable for this account. No problem. You got a load of Stellar Shards. You can absolutely push it. If all we need is just getting those Ignuses in. An E5 Ignus, give her the Golden Crown. Halora will take Punisher, Antlers Cane, Augustus Magic Ball. You've got so many different things to go with, and that will hopefully crack through the different waves that you face in the Seal Land. And then you got Waldeck for support with his Blood Frenzy. So you've got some really good heroes here, and I think there's definitely a path to be made. Now, as for everybody else, it seems everything else is tight. I actually don't see a hero on here that I don't like. The only hero here is Russell, and you said it yourself. The reason you built him was for Seal Land 20. As I said, you can get rid of him and go for someone else. Who that someone else is, I don't know. Maybe it should be a hero like Tix or Ithaca, especially if you want to lean in to the LOE strategy and actually make her a homeowner and use your Transcendence heroes as support. But that just seems like maybe a bit of a waste considering you have 3 Transcendence heroes here. So, yeah. Might not be the best decision. But can I check your Star Expedition team? I can do. It depends what you're doing. I guess I go to your presets, right? Star Expedition. We have Vesa with Sword Flash and Carrie's dying. AMB on the Sword Flash. And Vesa has Crown. That's fine. For day 1, this is totally cool. And day 2 as well. I would switch to much more aggressive stuff day 3. Absolutely much more aggressive stuff. Go with Osis set and Nairns, or Osis set and Cos. I actually prefer Nairns or Cos, whichever one you can get. With a Sword Flash, I much prefer Nairns though. And then go with Punisher or Antlers Cane or any of your big damage dealing things. I actually would totally put the Antlers Cane on the Sword Flash if you're going with Nairns and just go pure damage from her. But then again, Vesa might out damage, so I would actually experiment with both of them and see which one works best, because you might find that actually Antlers Cane is better on the Vesa. Who knows? You're just going to have to see. The big thing though, you will have to see which one's getting their energy stolen by the boss, because the one that's getting their energy stolen, you probably don't want to have the Antlers Cane on. So it depends which one's getting energy stolen, which depends on which one has the highest attack. So yeah, if you can, I would finagle with it, see which one gives you the most damage. It really depends on your account. I imagine that because your Sword Flash is the homeowner, I would put the Antlers Cane on her. Just go pure damage and you'll be totally fine. But yeah, you got Balance Strike on here as well for the healing, which is good. What are we rocking here? Crit damage, armor break, precision. You've made a massive oversight here. Armor break on a Sword Flash is not good. Which is now, here's another lesson for you. A lot of Sword Flash's damage. Let me have a read. Armor ignoring damage. See? It ignores armor. So it doesn't do anything on a Sword Flash. Armor break is bad. So what we like to use on her instead is crit damage, holy damage, precision, things like that, right? They are going to benefit you a lot more. And if you need it, damage reduction. That's going to keep you alive. In some cases, skill damage, but that's very rare. But yeah, I would definitely lean away from going with armor break, because on a Sword Flash, it doesn't do much. Really interesting account. It's been hopefully informative for you folks actually watching. It's been less of a roast. I don't try to roast accounts so much anymore unless they really need it, because a lot of accounts actually do look really good now. A lot of people are, you know, taking to the regression update, which came out a few months ago, and a lot of accounts are looking fantastic. I say a few months ago, it might even be a year now. Who knows? I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a good time. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to go ahead and take part in account reviews yourself, please do join us on Tuesdays at twitch.tv/MKxJUMP. Whether you're a patron, subscriber, or just someone that supports the channel or is involved with the community a lot, hopefully you'll have access to account reviews. There's information you can get about that if you join us on Twitch as well, or through our Discord. And if you folks want to get a chance to get your account actually actually featured on the YouTube channel. Join us on the first Tuesday of the month to have your stuff taken a look at. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get ready for a fun anniversary. Until next time, though, happy idling.